Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Excellent. Well, welcome to that question and answer session tonight. And it's great because you got a chance to interact, ask me anything about real estate, so we can take more listings, make more sales. And I want to just remind you guys, I might have a few more coming in, but I don't know if you can see behind me, but you are awesome. You are awesome. Because unlike the traditional self-help model, which is, oh, there's something wrong, we have to fix you. I believe that everybody has a giant within them, a genius within them that needs to activate. Just look at a child, how clever, how creative they are, how much fun they want, how much energy, enthusiasm, how curious they are. So if that child is in an environment where it can really emerge, where it can emerge at its best, can you imagine having that environment or being around people that believe in you that much? Just being around people that believe in you activates all that charisma, all that ability. And I know that you guys on this would agree with that, which is fantastic, because I do know some of you I don't. I had quite a lot of people, about 40 people, and my team approved certain people to be on it. So you were chosen. You are the chosen ones. Right. So,
Thank you.
It's great to be here. And we're going to start off with some questions and answers. And I actually made a little live, and I said, there's going to be a surprise, a really nice surprise, something I've never done before. And if anyone knows me, they know one thing: I always keep my word. So there will be a nice little surprise coming up. But why don't we begin by some questions? And you chose to be in a business where you want to be around people, you want to be talking to people, you want to answer questions. So it's not a business for shy people. Would you agree? It's not a business for shy people. I mean, you can be an accountant, you can hide behind a computer, but we chose sales, we chose connection. And if anybody wants to come on the screen and we can see you, that would be great too. Then you can interact. And let's begin. Who's got a question? Because this is your show. This is about you.
Richard, I got a question for you.
Great.
Okay, this is the age-old question. If the seller tells you that they're going to interview more than one agent, do you want to be first or last or in between?
I've got the best answer on the planet. And the beautiful thing is it's different from everybody else. So some coaches say you have to be last. And as you know, it's an age-old question. They say be last. Because the idea of that, there's some logic behind it, is because if you're last, a lot of people may say, I have to interview 3 agents no matter what. And you know what happens? It does happen where the last person, they'll go, okay, somebody's here. They'll go, the last person, they'll say, okay, you got it. I'll give it to you. And anybody who's been on appointments where there was one after the other, and maybe you're the first or second, even though they thought you were great, sometimes they'll go with the last person. Do you know why? Because there's no one else to see. I have a realtor in front of me. And they'll justify it. They go, okay, what the hell? I guess they're all the same anyway. They'll actually justify it. And sometimes they'll sign that contract. And all you have to do is look at that last agent, and you know that person isn't, like, you know, part-time, whatever, or they listed with that person. You can get a surprise. But it's almost like, well, they're tired of it and they'll list with you. So there is some logic to that. But the challenge that is in our business is we're giving a lot of formulaic advice, like that's what you do. It's like Bruce Lee said, no style is the best style. You learn all styles and then you adapt to the situation. Now there's other coaches who will say, be first. And usually they qualify it. And both coaches are correct, but they're only correct in certain circumstances. And they'll say, if you're good, be first. And you can't argue with that logic, because sometimes you'll go there and you'll go, let's go ahead, John. And then you go through as you know, Alex, because you're very good at this business, very successful and well-trained. And then you'll say things like, great, you know, let's get the ball rolling. Well, I've got other agents. That's okay. I'll do the professional thing. I'll give them a call and I'll tell them that we listed the property. In fact, I'll give them the VIP treatment. And I have a script for that for anyone that was in coaching, amazing script. as well. And the people get the contract signed. Now, what if they really insist on seeing somebody else? So I'll show you the Duggal effect one. And the Duggal effect is the best. And even those coaches would have to bow when they hear it. They're not aware of it because it's 100%. There's no one here that can't say that mine is the best. They can always say, oh, that guy's wrong, you should be first. Or she's wrong, you should be last or whatever. But mine, it's impossible. It's the ultimate persuasion system because these coaches didn't go to psychology, how the brain works. They didn't go to NLP. They didn't train in elicitation. They did not train in interrogation. The art of war, Sun Tzu. They only trained in Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy, which are great coaches. But that means that everyone's going to get the same training. So this is the answer. And people who hear this are very lucky because I don't usually train this outside, is that when the appointments are one after the other, like 2, 3, and 4, like that, and it's a regular time, not like a new expired listing, in that case, you're better to be last. If you set up the conditions in front and get a promise, because what happens is that sometimes they're looking out the window and they're going, well, the next one's coming. But if the next appointment is the next day, then you want to get in early. You don't wait till the next day. Does that make sense? Because by the next day, we go back to that thing. It's 8 o'clock, they're tired, and the agent's there, and they go, and if you've got a good agent who knows how to close, then they go, let's get the ball rolling and get you guys to acting. I'm ready to go to work. I want to get this in the computer right away. And in fact, I already know who's going to buy it. I've got a feeling I know who's going to bring an offer. And, oh, this is so exciting. Let's get the ball rolling. And they're looking at them, looking at the wife. And, okay, let's go ahead. And you're like tomorrow. You see what I mean? But if you're right after and you're knocking on the door almost because you got there 10 minutes early or whatever, you know what I mean? They go, does that make sense? Now, if it's a brand new expired, then you go first. You have to get in first because sometimes they just want an agent. So do you see why the regular coaching companies, it's called a box. The box, it's like a suitcase where they have a certain system and then they repeat it. Because remember, they have to hire coaches. So they have to have a standardized system, but it doesn't work with human beings are biological, as you know. So do you see the difference where it's one after the other? And then we can go further, but I've got further techniques, and I've got techniques which will hold the appointment almost 100%. You get a commitment from them not to sign. So you must do that because I coach agents and they go, I'm going on this appointment. Good. What's going on? Because part of my coaching, we work on your real leads to close them so you can make money, you know. And so I'll say, so when is your appointment? And they'll say, it's at 8 o'clock. Well, when are the other appointments? One or one at 2. And I'll say, oops, you know, okay, we should have done something with that, but it's too late. But right now, did you get a promise? No, what do you mean promise? Well, you've been coaching with this big company for 7 years. You came to me, no one taught you how to get a promise. No, they didn't really teach me skills or what to say. It was more like accountability. How many calls have you made? And here's some PDF scripts. And whenever I asked the coach, what do I do? They said, just use the scripts. And anybody who's been in those big coaching companies, that's what they say, right? Just follow the script. What's wrong with you? But you see, are you beginning to understand why it depends on the situation? Because at one time I said be first. Next time I told you to be last. And there's a lot in between. Was that helpful, Alex? Yeah, so I gave you specific situations, right? If it's 1, 2, 3, and then actually I'll give you a little bit of a hint. I like you a lot. And what you do is that you actually make your appointments sooner than an hour. Like you don't make them an hour. There's a certain script. And one of you knows here, I taught them, is that you actually bring in the appointment earlier than an hour. And it's really easy to do. I do it all the time because I want to get in there fast and you get the promise and whatever. So great question. I knew when I saw your face, it'd be something that everyone could benefit from.